Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Nick Baldwin, and I've got my trusty sidekick. That's right, you're my sidekick today, Tristan. I've got my trusty sidekick, Tristan Almada. Say hello, Tristan.
How's everybody doing today?
I thought you were going to say hello, Tristan.
Hello. I was, but I decided against it.
All right. Well, we are here today interviewing a pretty awesome guy. His name is Greg Hague. He's been in real estate for a very long time. He was the son of a real estate agent, so it's definitely in his DNA. He was an attorney. He built a number of brokerages throughout the years, and now he's the owner of 72 Sold, and they grew that brokerage from 11 agents to now over 400 in just a few short years with 10% market share. And the reason we're here with Greg today is because Keller Williams and 72 Sold have teamed up to bring the 72 Sold system and model to Keller Williams agents. And so KW agents across the country are going to be able to leverage this awesome system. Thank you for being here, Greg.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. I've followed you guys. You're awesome, and really excited to be interviewed today. Thank you both.
No, well, thanks for being here. I'm going to just kick it off with the first question. It's a simple one. I'm not going to throw you any curveballs. When did you come up with the 72 Sold system, and why did you come up with it?
Well, I could give you one of two answers, so I'll give you both. Answer number one is when I actually first got into real estate in the 70s, I struggled like most new agents to get listings. And then I came up with a program that I started marketing in Cincinnati because as a new agent, nobody would list with me. I was losing to all the top producers. So I thought maybe if I market and present a program instead of myself, that I'd have more success. So I came up with a home selling program, not like 72 Sold today. And all of a sudden I listed the next 10 homes in a row. Sellers couldn't resist it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I learned then in the 70s how much easier it was to set yourself apart by promoting a program instead of me as a person, I'm another realtor, I just do it better. In other words, my whole idea was don't say I do the same thing better, just say I do something totally different, and boy, look at how much better it is. So that was what got me started with a number of programs over the years. That is, I know has been the number one driver of the real estate firms that I built, and they've all been successful. And that is, of course, what 72 Sold is about. It's about real estate agents having a program to market that sellers can't resist. And then when they get out there, presenting a program to sellers, and the sellers say, oh my gosh, why isn't everybody doing it? And I teach that. You've got to have a program that after you explain it to sellers, they say to you, you're always looking for them to say to you, oh my gosh, that's so much better than the way it's normally done. Why isn't everybody doing it? It's inevitable. So 72 Sold itself, I started about 4 years ago, but it is one of many programs that I have launched over the years.
Oh, Tristan, you're
Go
muted.
ahead, Nick. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was looking at your sales numbers for this past month in listings, and it must be working because you're at around 900 listings sold this month alone, last month alone, which is pretty awesome and speaks volumes for the system itself.
Our company has grown 300% a year for the last few years. This year is no exception. Even in a tougher market, and we all know the market has gotten more difficult, our listings are significantly greater each month. Our sales are as well. And again, it's all driven by the program. We market the program. Every one of our 436 agents is trained on the program. And so we're all saying the same thing, doing the same thing. We're congruent. We're a team. It is not everybody doing their own thing. It's everybody doing the same thing and helping each other do it better. And yes, it's working extremely well.
So what makes the program so unique? Because everyone can jump in and throw on a program together, but what makes yours stand out? Why are you having so much success?
Well, that's the interesting thing. You're right, Tristan. Everybody could come up with a program. And so I'll talk about ours in a moment. But the whole real concept there is, why don't they? What you see mostly in real estate, and I've taught this, you know, there are a huge number of creative, smart people in this industry. What do we have? 1.4 million realtors, give or take. I mean, there are a lot of really smart people, and yet they just seem to go out and list and sell homes pretty much the same way. And I know there are variances, and so you're right about that. Why doesn't everybody thinking every day, here's the business as it is now, I want to be an Uber. I want to totally do the same thing, get people from point A to point B, but I want to do it in so much different, so much better way. So number one, you're right. I think everybody should be thinking about that way, instead of saying, I'm the better realtor. I think everybody should be saying, I've got the better program. The program leads it, I follow it up, I deliver it. I'm secondary, the program is first. And that's not what most people do. So you're right. What really sets our program apart? Well, a number of things. The foundation of the 72 Sold program is that I built this on the 4 psychological drivers that Fortune 500 companies use in their marketing and sales department. So everything we do from the time we start marketing a home is built around creating social proof, scarcity, fear of loss, and then opportunity. And if you look at Apple Computer, Tesla, all these Fortune 500 companies that have brilliant marketing departments, and I've studied what they do in marketing. I love marketing. And you see that all of them take those 4 psychological drivers, the things that make buyers want to buy more, buyers want to pay more. What they do and what we've done is we built a program from the moment somebody signs our listing agreement that leverages those 4. Social proof. Social proof is making sure that any buyer or buyer agent who reaches out feels like this home is popular, desirable, there's other people looking at it, and that is from the very first call we get. My agents are trained to make sure they send that vibe that this is the popular hot home on the market. That's social proof. Scarcity, that's the big one. That's the centerpiece of everything we do. One of the things I teach is that when our agents do the walkthrough, when they first go over on the listing appointment, that they talk to the seller. What is it about this home that you didn't know when you bought it? What have you learned that you've been here that buyers wouldn't know, that would make this unique, make it a one of a kind? The neighbors, the neighborhood, the views, the sunset. What are the things that I can say when I'm talking to buyers and buyer agents where they will say to themselves, oh my gosh, this is really a special property. This is a one of a kind, all the way down to why the seller's selling. You can actually not just use a home, but you can use the situation. These sellers are selling for this specific reason, and they have prioritized, of course they want to get a fair price, but they've prioritized making the move and doing it quickly over getting every last nickel. Even saying that to a buyer agent creates kind of a scarcity, like, wow, this is one of those rare sellers who my buyer really can have an easy transaction and make a fair buy. So that's that scarcity. We are really focused from what we write in the public comments to the way we do photos. Like I shoot my agents if they put too many photos out there. The idea of photos on MLS and photos in marketing is not to sell a home, it's not to show a home. The idea of photos is to get a buyer or buyer agent to reach out. So it's the idea of saying, wow, these are the most amazing photos ever, and then you go into your talk tracks and you sell the home. So that's the scarcity, and I won't drag it out. Then this idea of fear of loss. It's really important that buyers feel like if they don't move quickly, they might lose this unique, one-of-a-kind, amazing property. So we build that in, but the fear of loss has to be a situation and not coming from us. We're not the ones, we're just the ones that are saying, look, given the circumstances and on this date, the seller is going to evaluate offers. And so we create this situation where then there's a fear of loss, and then guess what? We are the heroes. We step in with an opportunity to pay the seller's price and buy it before that date, that time, that offer evaluation time. So the seller ends up getting what we call like their target price. And the buyer or buyer agent ends up getting the home they want, and they feel like they were treated like a VIP. So we have 58 videos. They're each one anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes that teach all these things. So I'm giving you an overview, but the whole idea is to actually use the kind of sales techniques built on those 4 psychological drivers that are used by the best marketing companies in the country. And I just don't believe this is something that's being taught in real estate right now. And then the takeaway is we get so many listings, not because we have such a good listing presentation, but it's because we actually show sellers that we really do have a better way. Just like our 7-step showing process, every one of my agents is required to use 7 specific steps in the showing process that leverage these psychological drivers and make buyers actually see a home in a better light. And I do not believe this is the kind of thing that's being taught at the level it should, and that's what we do. So that's kind of an overview of what our program's all about.
You said a lot of really great things in there, and some of the things that stuck with me was like every agent wants to be different. Every agent wants to reinvent the wheel. Every agent wants to, do their thing, which is fine. But we're forgetting that just going back to the basics of selling, there are certain things that have always worked, right? And so, yeah, if you want to put your own twist on something, great, but you got to remember the foundation and the fundamentals of sales. Right? Like that stuff never changes.
It should not be hope marketing. Too much of our industry, in my view, is hope marketing. Put it out there, put it in MLS, run a few ads, and hope it sells. And I believe that there is such opportunity for anyone listening to this video, such an opportunity to look at what the big companies, what the rock star marketers are doing, to really study it and then to import that into real estate, because most agents don't have that training. And it's not bad on them, it's just they never got the training. And that's what we're trying to do at 72 Sold. Give them that top level training on how to sell homes. And boy, when sellers hear that, they see our brochures, they see how we're creating the social proof scarcity, fear of loss opportunity, boom. It's like the easiest, let me sign, how do I go ever. That's why, I've got a few hundred agents that are listing, on average, they're almost listing per person a home a week. Our agents, and I'm not boasting, but I can show you the metrics that are done by a title company. Our agents on average are listing 4 to 6 times the number of homes per agent as the average agent in Phoenix. And that's all driven by the fact that sellers love the program.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that leads me to my next question then. How are consumers benefiting from this model?
Well, the number one thing that we are proudest of is that in the Phoenix metro market, we constantly watch to see if we're actually quantitatively performing. Are we getting sellers better prices? Everybody in real estate who's a lister knows that sellers love convenience, but the thing they love most is show me the money. The old Jerry Maguire, show me the money. If you can show a seller that your program, your process, your formula, your strategies increase the probability that they will end up walking away with a bigger check, they're going to go with you every time. So what we're proudest of is performance. Over the last 2.5 years, a title company here did a study, and we published this, it's in my commercials. Our homes, 5,945 sales, our sales, the last 5,945 sales through May 31st of this year, were at an average median sale price 11.2% over the MLS. Last year, listen, it gets better. As of the 2-year
There's
point,
more.
But wait, there's more.
The old Paul Harvey rest of the story, right? So listen to this, though. As of 12/31 last year, 2021, that was at 10.9%. And then as of May 31st this year, that had gone up to 11.2%, which means even in this more difficult market, we're actually performing better because of the sales processes we use. So there's the takeaway to sellers. The takeaway to sellers is that on average, we're getting sellers more money for their homes, and we can prove it.
Oh, I like that. Well, dude, look, this is working for you at a high level. why partner up with Keller Williams? What's up with that?
Yeah,
Well, number one,
why just keep it to yourself?
Yeah,
Like
well,
what
you don't need Keller Williams. Why
what's the
partner up with
deal?
Keller Williams?
yeah, it's not that we need, it's
It's
not
like
that we,
it's like the Colonel's secret recipe. Why are you going to give it to everybody now?
Yeah.
well, I guess it's whether you have a scarcity mentality. No, it's like the scarcity mentality versus the abundance mentality. So the scarcity mentality is let's keep it to ourselves, make a lot of money, and live wonderful. The abundance mentality is that I have the greatest respect for Gary. Gary and I first met 30 years ago, and I have just
And he's been recruiting you ever since.
we joke that we should have. I was actually at an NAR speaking at an NAR event with the company I owned then about different ways to sell homes, and Gary and I have joked, in the last year, gosh, we should have gotten together back then. Can you imagine together? But the point is, I am just so impressed and so in awe of what Gary has accomplished in building Keller Williams. I love the culture. I know so many Keller Williams agents and operating principals who I respect greatly. And I just looked at this as an opportunity to do these things. Number one, to take 72 sold and to take it national quick in a big way. And number two, to take, I think there's roughly 180,000, 200,000 Keller Williams agents. For those who really are interested, just open-minded about could there be a better way? To expose them to this, and what'll happen? They'll do more business, guaranteed. They'll do more business, and their consumers, the people they deal with, will get a better result. So all good things will happen. Agents with Keller Williams will grow. They'll make more money. Their sellers will be thrilled. And one of the things we do, I didn't mention, is when we launch in a market, we back this up with heavy TV and radio marketing. So we not only teach agents a program, but they don't have to DIY it. They don't have to market it themselves. I have a whole 72 sold ad agency. It's huge. We've got digital marketers, TV people, spokespeople, and we go into a market and we start TV, radio, digital advertising. We feed agents the business. They pay us a referral fee. Everybody wins. So we actually even do the marketing.
I love it. I love it. Well, did you have a question, Tristan?
No, I'm just impressed. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts.
Well, let me just make a comment. Many agents spend so much time looking for business and not as much time as I think they should be able to spend doing business. Most people got into this business, guys, because they wanted to sell real estate. They really wanted to serve people. I think they got into it. Obviously, they want to make money, but they also love the idea of helping people sell their homes or buy homes. And what do they end up doing? They spend 80% of their time out there door knocking, mailing, trying to get a listing. What we do is we take that off of them. We use the referral fee money they pay us to fuel heavy duty, very intelligent TV and radio marketing. So our agents end up spending their days doing business, not searching for business, and it's funded by the referral fees they pay. I think that's the model that every real estate firm in the country ought to have. And now Keller Williams is going to have it. And I am thrilled to do it with KW.
Love it. Well, I posted about the partnership in the Lab Coat Agents group, and it seems like there's a lot of misconceptions about the company, especially in the minds of agents, right? So what do you think the biggest misconception of 72 Sold is? And let's set it straight.
I see the forums and see the comments, and honestly, I just don't have a lot of time to respond and answer. I just don't want to.
Greg, you don't want to go into that rabbit hole.
No.
Greg, no.
And honestly, I wish I could give you a definitive, here's the one big misconception, but I can't, because I see when my agents, show me this stuff, and I think, what are they even thinking? They're believing all this stuff in the forums, and they don't even understand what we do. So all I would say to answer that is, I have offered, and I do it all the time, I've given several Keller Williams talks and events, and I believe it to be fair to say that every single time that I've done that, it's like the room is like, oh my God, I didn't know that's what you guys were. I thought this. And so it's really, the best answer is just invite me to a webinar. If you've got an office that you say, wonder what they're all about, just get me on a webinar and I'll explain it. Like it, don't like it, but at least understand it.
Yeah, I think people are afraid of what they don't understand, really. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. And when something is so successful, there's got to be a catch. There's got
Yeah.
to be something about it that's just not working the right way. We got to
Well,
find out that
guess
that's
what? If
normal.
you look online and you Google 72 sold, you will see that we have over 1,000 five-star consumer reviews, and we're 4.9 plus rated out of 5. So I think that any agent that feels like there must be a catch, let me just say this, that's not the way consumers feel. And believe me, it's consumers that matter. Sorry, guys, it's the consumers that come first.
So are you saying, oh, by the way, you said something to me very, very interesting on our phone call last week. And it was around what you just mentioned, that talk about that, how it's all about the consumer, right? So
It is.
talk about that.
Well, one of the things that I gave a talk at a KW event a couple of weeks ago, and I made the comment that most real estate firms, and I get it, are built around the agent. Our job as a real estate firm is to serve you, the agent. And I said to the group, and I think it surprised them, do you want to know what I tell my 400 and some agents every week? And they said, sure. It's not about you. You are not my priority. The people you serve are my priority. To the extent you do a great job, you're a rock star. To the extent you don't, you're out of here. My priority is the people, the consumers, the home sellers and home buyers we serve. And sorry if you feel slighted, but you're secondary to them, and you ought to see it that way. And I think every single agent in my firm really now embraces that philosophy that it's consumer first, we're second. So that's probably where I have a little bit different view of what a brokerage should be.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about the agent, and you have a program, which is what it's about.
And
It's about the
if my
program.
agents, one of the things I joke with my agents, and I think you could ask them, I think they honestly think the world of me, and I know I think the world of them, but I do joke with them when we have our team calls and training every week. This is not a democracy. This is not a everybody does their own thing. This is we all do the same thing, and if you don't feel like it's your thing, then you need to go to a different brokerage.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tristan, any final thoughts?
I love it. I mean, Zillow did the same thing in 2006. They thought about the consumer first, right? And that's how they got in. So, dude, you're doing amazing things. Great job, Greg.
Well,
I
I'll tell
saw.
you, I really love this industry. If I could make one more comment, my dad was a flight instructor in World War II. His dad died when he was young. He was very poor. Because of real estate and my dad's hard work in real estate, I was able to have a college education, a law school education. I was able to have so many advantages in life because of my dad and this business. If it were not for real estate, I know I would have never had that fast start and those advantages in life. I have seen what it's done for me. I've seen what it's done for others. I think this industry is just so awesome. But I also think that in many ways we're backwards, and I think we could really be better. And really, my passion every day is, even though I a lot of times get criticized because I say, look, guys, we can do it better. We should do it different. We can do it better. Honestly, I think that's where we need to go. So that's what wakes me up every morning. And
Yeah.
Another thing,
Well,
happiness, a lot of people think happiness is about having money and traveling and all that. And I don't believe that at all. I think happiness is about purpose. I think happiness is waking up, really believing in something, having fire in your belly. And I have that right now. And I've had that most of my life. And I really hope that I can do that in Keller Williams. To the extent that any agents in KW feel like they'd like to wake up more excited, more purposeful in the morning, I'd like to be there to help make that happen.
that's awesome. And like as they say at KW, which is what you're doing, is never settle.
Yeah, I say thumbs up to that. Never settle.
Well, thanks, Greg. We had a great time talking to you. I saw Tristan taking furious notes the entire time. I'm just a listener. Tristan's a writer. So best of both worlds. But thank you for being here, Greg. We appreciate you.
My absolute pleasure. And once again, for everybody at KW, I just want you to know how thrilled and proud I am for us to be a partner and to be involved with Gary Keller and his amazing leadership team, all the operating principals and the agents. Really excited about what the future holds.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.